All right. Good morning, everyone. Good to see you here. Paul Tranny here, going to dive into from project to portfolio. Excuse me. Just wait a second for everything to refresh. My machines are working hard, and it's good to have you here. So, yeah, let's dive into this now that I can see everything. And welcome also Dana Pride as well. Good afternoon. Hello. Does everybody like my new pillows in the background? That's right. Photoshop, Illustrator, XD. You got it. Collecting the whole set, if you will. So I want to talk about sort of like building a portfolio, if we could. Anissa, good to have you here. Happy Tuesday to you as well. Anissa, someone who is a top fan, and and Anel as well. I'm going to talk about a portfolio, but I'm going to probably show you some things that you may or may not know about it. So that is my goal. But let's kind of switch over to my screen. You can see right here. This is kind of what I'm dealing with. Okay. And this is something I actually kind of started out on my iPad. And yes, this is what I have. So welcome. Cool. All right, New York in the house. Paul Tranny here. Steve, we're good to have you here from New York City. That's cool. Or New York. I'm here in beautiful Denver, where it is actually, let me show you what time it is. Excuse me, not what time it is, but the temperature. Look, it's like raining here. Look, we could have snow tomorrow. Okay, I digress, but that's crazy. It's like May. Too much. Okay, so I want to talk about sort of going from a projects to portfolio. You can see kind of what I have here on Behance, but kind of how you would do that. First and most important thing you could do is probably just start creating. Like that's the biggest, like number one tip, of course. Okay, Alessio, good to have you here as well. So yeah, kind of just create whatever motivates you or gets you like inspired, whether it's a class or whatever. You got to be creating something, and eventually, and assuming your goal is you want people to like give you money for doing what you love. So that's the goal. Okay, and that's the goal of this. You ready for this? Jesper, good to have you from Denmark. Mary just got back from McCarthy. Just got back from yoga and feeling chilled. I'll keep that chill. Actually, no, I'm not going to keep that chill. This is a chill moment. Let me just turn my mic a touch because it's a little hot. But check this out. Belgium in the house. This is probably unsettling what I'm working on here. What is happening? We got a big spider. Hello, my good friend Paulina. I'm going to wave to Paulina. Good to see you. I miss you already. Saw you in Guadalajara a couple of weeks ago. So again, this is just kind of something I actually worked on like way late to like 2 a.m. this morning. Like I spent a lot of time on this. And it's actually kind of a riff on another project, just so you know. If I go to Anna McNaughty, as she's known, she did something like this. So it's just kind of in the back of my head, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to create something like that. Here, this is a really cool version that she made, but it's a very disconcerting type photo. And I kind of made my own version. I said, that's pretty wild. I'm going to do something like it. And this is kind of what I ended up with. Lots of color correction still needs to happen, just so you know. So I encourage you to take any project, share it on Instagram, on Behance if you want to, but just share it through social media and get everybody's feedback. Because this has issues. There's little holes here, right, that I need to fix. But the first step is getting this out, making corrections based on just like taking a look at it a second time. Because again, I worked on this like, it was just like way too late at night. And honestly, I'm kind of giving it a second look today, which is why I'm going to jump in and give it a color lookup, a LUT, and let's go to 2-strip and see what happens. Not much. But anyways, I would just kind of refine this based on, but once this is ready, I'd want to push this out to my portfolio. Even these warm tones are not bad. Okay, but once that's done, I can actually, from within Photoshop, I could share on Behance. And also if I jump into Illustrator, I can show you the same thing. But here I can go ahead and share this project on Behance. And I kind of like it, actually. Let me just turn off this background. Let me invert this background here. Maybe it looks, no, never mind. Does it look better on white? That's my big question. Does it look better on white? That's my big question for you, Herbert. Fantastic, by the way. Good having you here. So does this look better on white? I just don't know. That's my big question, right? Or should it be on this background, okay? So feel free to let me know. I don't want to give you any nightmare fuel, but you can see what I'm doing right here. Right over here, I'm going to go ahead and share on Behance. We have this in our various apps. Obviously in Photoshop, in Illustrator. I don't know if it's in InDesign. So yeah. Jumping out. I could do a couple different things. So typically what I could do here is I can upload an image, by the way. Let's do this really fast. Save it. I'm not going to make it that large. She's called Spider-Woman. Why not? And I don't know if you're aware of, but I have works in progress that I can publish out to Behance. So feel free to use this if you want to. I'm posting it right now to my Behance account, and that's right in here under my works in progress. Okay, but in general, I like to get people's feedback. Once I have that done and I've made adjustments, maybe it's going to be on white or black. Always curious as to seeing what you think. So that's kind of where this is at, okay? But once I have it done, there we go, taking this while for it to refresh. So that's my question, if I can share it from InDesign. I need to open up InDesign and check. And Che says you can. So yes, I don't use InDesign a ton. But from there, once this is done, I actually want to output it at a higher, a larger size, right? 3000s by 4200. This was the actual size created with it, by the way, for it. And now it's pretty large. From there, take it. And I'm going to create a project on Behance. So what I want to get to is taking these projects and pushing them to your own portfolio. Okay, so right in here, I'm going to make this really fast. Boom, boom. She loads up. We'll add a title. So we'll just call her, again, what are we calling her? Spider-Woman. Right, there she is. Boom. Center that text. We're going to make this header text, and then beneath that we're going to have a project, create a, an illustration in Project Gemini. Okay, so that's what I would do. That is a new project. I'm going to select this text here. I'm going to make sure this is paragraph text. I still think that paragraph text is too large. I drop it down to like 14 point. Paulina Duran in the house. All right. Inspired by Anna. Let's do this. Anna Mc. And that's what I would do. I'd say inspired by Anna McNaughty's piece, which is this one right here. So taking that, making sure I always of course, give credit where credit's due, because I did not think of the original idea. But that's kind of where it came from. And I'm like, I just want to paint. I've been into painting spiders and different things. So hopefully it's not too scary, huh, Paulina? A lot of times what I will do, by the way, is I'll start crafting a really well project. So I'm going to show you this version, okay? Start crafting, and I posted this late last night too. So I guess I wasn't really working on that painting till 2. I was working also on this. 36 days of type. So this is just wrapping up today. Today's the last day. Well, actually, technically tomorrow. But you get the idea. Build in your own header, as you can see here, right? Your own, give as much information as possible. Okay, and then you can even get into the making of as well. So that's what I did here, is dropping in just this little video that I actually recorded from Project Gemini, just so you could see. So you get the idea. Here's some other versions. You get it. Here she is. Let's not worry about that, because I'm going to take her out of here, right? Because she's kind of worthy of her own separate project. But this is a completed project, and that's where we need to get. So now we have Spider-Woman. We'll just save this. Let's go to the cover. Cover image. Wait for it. Wait for it. It's loading up. Paulina, you were too kind. Paulina Duran did a fantastic, she's of course a really good designer, and she did a great project too. I want to know how your shirt, if you've progressed at all on your shirts. You're doing a fun t-shirt design. T-shirt design has to be the best, by the way. All right, Felix, good afternoon to you as well, and an L. All right, so that's what I do. I typically make this larger and build some intrigue around it that way, and I'll say Spider Woman. Like that. You get the idea. It's just fill in the blank from here. Super easy to work with as I make sure I select painting, because that's what this was, right? Fill in the blank. Boom, boom. Tools used. Project Gemini. It's coming soon from Adobe, just so you know. Simulates watercolors. All sorts of things. I might use Photoshop, so let's just add Adobe Photoshop. The cool thing is I only have to do this once, because the most neglected thing out of anybody's repertoire of things is typically their portfolio, because typically you're too busy working. What's the menu item under for sharing on Behance? Oh yeah, so what that is, that just... we'll get to that. I'm not sure where you're seeing that right now, but there is going to be a share option that we'll get to. Okay. All right, got it. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go back in there to into the settings. Oop, sorry. Settings. Good. Display and give it a description. Painted in Project Gemini for the 36 days of type. I should say inspired by the 36 days of type project, like that. That's what I would do. 36 days of type. You get it. All right, so let's just go ahead and save this. Let's publish it. Done and done. Let's move on. Because now that I have this done, this might be what you're talking about. Alexandra is asking about this. You could promote your work through these different social platforms. So basically, this is the link to the project. So if I copy that, you'll see that it is right here. Okay, Spider Woman. Usually add a lot more in there. And that's about it, right? From there, what I do, you ready for this? We'll go into my Behance profile. We can now see Spider Woman there. And I'm going to edit this project really fast. So much to do. We'll just leave that one in there. I have all these different projects now, right? Check this out. I can take this, and usually there's going to be something at the top that says, hey, turn this into an Adobe portfolio. So portfolio.adobe.com. These are free websites we give you. This is what I've been working towards, okay? Okay, Felix and Dana and everyone, right? Create your beautiful websites for free with Creative Cloud. So if you have Creative Cloud, you can knock this stuff out, right? Look, you can create up to, did you know this? Up to 5 sites. Look at that. When you click on this and make a new site, you kind of can start to customize, choose a theme, and now it's creating a site, as we'll see here in a second. This is amazing. Paulina, Che, Mary, NL, this is awesome. Like, so check this out. I could have all my projects on Behance. And by the way, I have like 71 drafts. Okay, so I have all these crazy projects. Okay, I can have multiple portfolios. I can have a portfolio for painting and then have another portfolio that's more for graphic design. Because look at all this graphic design work I have in here, right? All the stuff that I created. I could have a graphic design portfolio and then an illustration portfolio. Depending on what job I'm applying for, I'm going to send that specific URL to that client, right? So again, that's what I would do right over here. This is the one I've already made, right? I can import from Behance. So let's go into the import settings. There's Spider Woman, right? This is going to dump everything. 10 Behance projects ready to import. That looks pretty good. It's already doing it. You can add Lightroom, of course, Adobe Stock as well. Okay. I thought there was, yeah, I guess that's it. Those 3. Okay. All right. Add link to external pages. So basically you're adding additional pages as well if you want to. So typically I'll add an additional page. Maybe it's, let's do image right, and this will be about. We need to have an about page, right? Create that page as well. Right? Do you like this? So I'm a designer that helps create something like that. I write in what I want. I add my social media profiles. I upload an image, right? We all know how to do this sort of thing. You get the idea. Let's move on. 2 headshots. Maybe I'll grab this one. Since Paulina's here, I'm going to grab this one from Guadalajara that they so kindly added. Something like that. There we go. Publish site. Done. So, so that's what I'm saying, Mary. I think there's so many designers that, we tend to work in multiple areas. We're dabbling in photography and painting and this and that, and then we'll get into who knows what. But you get the idea. So now we have paultranny.myportfolio.com, right? We'll wait for that to load. We'll make sure we go to Adobe portfolio. Folio.adobe.com. Here's where I have all my sites. So Lee, just to just kind of recap, I can make multiple, up to 5 websites using Adobe Portfolio if you're a Creative Cloud member. So we'll go into edit your sites. I now have 2. Paul Tranny's portfolio here, and then this URL as well. I now have 2, which is awesome. So again, here's one. And again, I need to modify this one some more, not to worry. But then I also have, as it shows right here, the second one. Let's view this second one. This is the Painterly site, if you will. And this is one which just a different layout. Okay. So again, 2 different websites, as we can see, both pulling from my Behance site, and I can start turning these on. So this is what I'll do. Geez, some of these I don't even have, it's just tucked away. Because the big thing I usually say about portfolios is like curate it, put your best work in there, the work you wanna get. But say for instance this one. Publishing this project. Let's view it on my profile. You can see it right here. And guess what? I don't want this one to be at the very top, by the way. I can move it down. Just click and drag it. I'll nest it down there. Get it? Nest. Ha ha ha. And then I could make, say for instance, this site can be the one that's more for graphic design. So I can maybe toggle that one on or off. So we can see our pages and integrations. That's a European bee eater. I can turn off some of these others, and I could just have more of my graphic design work in this portfolio. Something like that. Cool. So I think this is fantastic. By the way, some other things that you might have noticed in here, Mary and Lee and Felix and everyone, is there's some additional things happening in here. Let's go right over to back to this one. Actually, let's go right. Sorry about that. Portfolio.adobe.com. I'm going to edit this other one. So I'm going to show you, if I go in here, I'm going to edit this site, which is Paul Tranny's portfolio, by the way. So that's the URL. This is the special URL that I dropped in there. Okay. Another fancy little thing I did is I put this little icon right up there, that ICO file. So you really want to start customizing this to your liking. And if I go into the settings, I can change and add a domain name. So that's what I did. Customize the domain name, Paul Tranny's portfolio, and all this additional information. That is pretty typical of websites. Let me do you one better. You ready for this? You ready for this, Afrosia? Password protection. So you could actually have a portfolio and it could be just projects for a client, and it can be password protected as well. Okay. This is awesome. I just think this is awesome. Right. That is about it. I just think this is really cool. So I encourage you, like, if you are a Creative Cloud member, by the way, like, make a couple sites, make up to 5 websites, have one for graphic design, have one for maybe your illustration work, or if you're like Mary and you do ceramics, have a ceramic website, for instance, as well. Have one for jewelry, right? I literally have designer cufflinks on this website. But just a way to kind of expand or kind of split out what you do. And by the way, it's all coming from one place, which is great. That place is your Adobe, your Behance portfolio. So, yeah, that's what I have for you. Use Behance, create projects, add them to multiple websites, and next thing you know, you'll have a design career, and you'll never work a day in your life. Hopefully that sounds good to you. So that's all I have for you. I want to be respectful of your time. Just kind of switch back over. Let me know if you have any further questions. You forgive me for the scary spider. The scary spider is what I worked on initially from Photoshop, basically right here, because I needed something to upload to show you how to do the project. And don't need to freak you out, but that was kind of the purpose of it, is to build a lot of tension. So I guess if you are doing any sort of design, do it with intention. You can break all the rules, but know why you're breaking the rules, like sort of the design fundamental rules. Thank you, Afroja and Paulina and Mary and everyone hanging out with me, and Nell, Felix, Alexandra. Have a wonderful day. Let me know what else you want to see. I got some big stuff coming up, just so you know. Got a big awards thing coming up tomorrow night, and I'm going to Cuba, so you'll see some things from me this week, and then it'll be radio silence for like a week. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you as people for being so kind. Continue that kindness even to those who are mean to you, because it's easy being nice to the nice people. All right, guys, have a beautiful day. Thanks for watching.